Hey everyone, I came across something in my readings that absolutely blew my mind. If you watch till the end, it may blow your mind as well. So let's get right into it. The focus here is on the Last Supper, and whose house this momentous event took place in. We may actually have the answer. It is believed that the house in which they ate the Passover meal was the house of Mark. Yes, the same Mark who wrote the Gospel, and the same Mark who would later become the very first Pope of Alexandria, and the one who established the Coptic Orthodox Church of Egypt. But how do we know that it was St. Mark's house that they gathered in for the Last Supper? First, let's look at the book of Acts, chapter 12, verse 12, which speaks of Peter. The verse states, "When this had dawned on him, he went to the house of Mary, the mother of John, also called Mark, where many people had gathered and were praying." Now, this verse needs a little bit of background information, so let me explain. When Herod had Peter arrested, an angel appeared to Peter and led him out of jail. As soon as Peter was free, he knew to go to the house of Mary, where many were gathered in prayer. As the verse states, it was the house of Mary, who was the mother of Mark. Another important point to mention is in the book of Acts, chapter 12, verse 13, which states, "Peter knocked at the outer entrance, and a servant named Rhoda came to answer the door." This tells us two things. One, this was an important house in early Christianity. Important enough for Peter to know to go there as soon as he was free. It also tells us that the owner of the house was wealthy enough to have live and help. Most homes in the area at that time were small, yet this was the house of a rich family that likely had an upper room for Jesus and the disciples to use. But there is one more important piece of information. After Jesus and his disciples ate the Last Supper, they made their way to the Garden of Gethsemane, as it states in Mark chapter 14, verse 26, which says, "And when they had sung a hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives." Now here's where it gets really interesting. Mark chapter 14, verse 51 states, "Now a certain young man followed him wearing a linen garment." It is believed here that this young man is actually Mark. It is known that the gospel writers would often not refer to themselves in the first person. So when Mark talks about a young man, he may be talking about himself. Also worth noting, this verse about the young man is only found in the Gospel of Mark, leading many to believe that he was talking about himself and is an eyewitness to the event. So, picture this. Jesus and his disciples are eating the Passover meal in the upper room of a wealthy family's house. After singing a hymn, they made their way to the Garden of Gethsemane. Mark, a young man, hears them leaving and quickly follows them. Later, he sees the guards arresting Jesus, and when a guard tries to grab Mark, he takes off running. Amazing. I hope you found this information as fascinating as I did. Please like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you all for watching, and may God bless you now and at all times.